tight. Hold my baby Squid, keep him out of sight. Talking about my life, government stay away. If you drive, I'ma do it my own way. Squid in the ocean, swimming all alone. Ain't nobody telling me where to go. Living free, gotta stay true to myself. No need for interference from anyone else. Squid pro quo, that's the way to be. Living on my terms, setting myself free. Mama to my baby, protecting with my no government intrusion. I control my life.
Hey y'all, it's Squid. Welcome back to my channel. How is everybody doing on this glorious and hot and muggy and everything Monday morning? Y'all are amazing and I love you. And thank you for hanging out with me this morning. We are going to get right into this. So somebody go ask Mo, because I forgot to ask her, if I can borrow Lord Chippy, because we have a perfect candidate for Lord Chippy this morning. Perfect. And thank you, Hong Hero, for getting us started off on the right way on a Monday with 10 gifted Squid Pro memberships. You are awesome. Please, everybody, hit that like button. We are slowly inching our way towards 4K. Summertime is not the time where I'm putting a whole lot of effort into growth like I should be. Because most of my friends are teachers and have summers off, and it's just hotter than absolute sin. My streaming schedule is a little off, but my go-to person for new cases, also known as Flash Fan, sent me this the other day, and I wanted to talk about it because this is one of the cases that I hate covering, in the sense of it is tragic, it is sad, and it should never happen. But is one of my greatest fears in life, being the mother of a toddler who lives in a very hot climate. And also, just it happens way more than it should. Everybody that knows that I got a new vehicle, actually has a message that says, please check your back seat when I turn my car off. So it's a really interesting thing, but we have a perfect candidate for Lord Chippy, and we will get into the reasoning as to why he is a perfect candidate for Lord Chippy, because sometimes sometimes people are crappy and make mistakes, and then sometimes shit just you set yourself up for failure. Hey, Hung Hero, thank you for the $2 super chat. Also getting us started on the right, yeah, you know. And I have some thoughts about this case from more than one perspective. Jeffrey, good morning, good to see you. Flash Fan, good as always, good to see you. My ride or die mod. He is my little brother. Y'all, this is a very trigger warning kind of topic. We are going to kind of go into the background of the case a little bit, and then we're going to watch the press conference from the Volusia County Sheriff. This happened in Florida because Florida man, but the last hot car case that we are covering that goes to trial, I want to say in October. I have it written down somewhere, and Flash Fan knows because he's smarter than me. Happened in Arizona. So this is not limited to Florida. This is a Florida man. This is not just a Florida man thing. This is a welcome to the world of people have focuses on the wrong shit, and sometimes people should not have children. And there's those people who put your left shoe with your child, put something important in the back seat. Your child isn't important. I understand, because there was a case when I want to say in like 2019 or something that happened in Wisconsin. And what had happened in that case was The parent that usually takes their child to daycare didn't, and had to rely on the other parent. And the other parent, muscle memory took over, and when they got in their car, they went straight to work, not thinking that they still had their child in the back seat. So I don't condone it. It's one of my greatest fears in life. When the first time I went anywhere without baby Squid in the car, when she stayed at home with her dad, I looked in the back like, where's my child? It's like, oh, she's at home with her dad, she's fine. But it's just one of those things, like, it happens, and sometimes people don't mean to. However, this dude, I think, is a giant shitbag, and we are going to get into why. Because we have a couple of articles to read, and then we are going to get into the why, or the. I did look for documents in this, and all the documents right now are confidential. I've never seen that from Florida without a. I've never seen it from Florida without a reason, such as a family law case. But maybe this is because it involves a child. I was talking to this about with somebody. Yeah, Christopher Schultz is in Arizona, but Christopher Schultz, I think the trial, you told me when the trial date was, and I can't remember when it was. And hey, SMN, hope you are doing well. I know you aren't feeling too hot. I heard you had the flu, or the man flu. Not sure which one, because they are two different things. But y'all have a great day. Hope you feel better. And Faith says it all. Greta, good morning. All right, we are going to Uncle Nero, thanks for the $5 super chat. Couldn't forget my fiance's nephew in the car. He won't stop talking in the car. And you know what? That's not exactly a bad thing, because it's the quiet ones that you got to worry about. So speaking of the non-quiet ones, you think it's in October? Yeah, I have it written down somewhere in my calendar. Hi, beautiful. I have a shelf on my desk where my monitors sit, and she's sticking her arm through and putting her face through, like, hey, Mom. The only time I left my children in the car was never. And I admit, my parents left me in the car sometimes when I was a kid. However, we lived in Wisconsin, and it was like Wisconsin in September, so it was like 60 degrees. Also, the windows were down. I had the keys. It was started, and I had the ability. I knew at the time, I was old enough to know how to shut off the car, and if I got uncomfortable, to go inside. Like, I was old enough to know how to shut off the car, lock the doors, and go in the store. Like, I wasn't so young. So we are going to get into this, and this is why this article gets into a little bit of why I feel like the documents are confidential. Scott Gardner, and somebody asked Miss Mo if I can borrow Lord Chippy for a bit, because I have a good candidate. Either that, or I can send him her way. But I'm closer to Florida than she is, so I figured, I hope that everybody got their reference in the thumbnail, that I have a wood as a background in the thumbnail is Lord Chippy. I was gonna put a picture of a wood chipper, but I figured that might be too obvious, and somebody might get pissed and report that. So it's a piece of wood. I was hoping somebody might have gotten that reference. Oh, yes. And now cars are literally telling you, check your back seat when you get out. Do I think that's outrageous? No, but as a parent who lives in a hot climate, I it's a fear of mine. Scott Gardner, accused of leaving son to unalive in hot car, claimed boy wasn't safe with mom. And that right there is why I feel like there is the documents are confidential, because there are two, what I could find, family law cases. One from early 2024 and one from April of 2025. The 2024 one that was opened in March of 2024 and closed after a hearing in August of 2024 was brought by what I believe is the grandmother. So it's got wood. Not that kind, not the fun kind. Ormond Beach father accused of leaving son in hot car was arrested in Brevard County after a DV incident involving the mother. And this was recent. This was June 6th, I believe. Ormond Beach father accused of leaving his 18-month-old son, 18 months old, that's Sebastian, to die in a hot truck while, here's where I think Lord Chippy comes in. Got a haircut and then drank beer at a bar. Ooh, I got balloons. How did I do that? Yeah. All I know is that when I sent you this, I didn't read the articles. This isn't one of the articles you sent me. I looked at the articles you sent me, and I looked some more when I found the when I found the documents, and I looked up the case, because Volusia County, I looked up the cases to try to get the documents, and I found the other cases, and all those, because those were family law, those were confidential as well, because they're family law. And I saw that these were confidential. And I'm like, oh shit, I need to do a little bit more digging. So I did a little more digging. And yeah, balloons did go across the screen, but I'm not sure how I did it. There's things like I can do this. I know that much. Like I can do this and hearts will go across the screen. But I'm like, I'm not sure how I do the balloons. It happens by accident sometimes. But I used to sign when I was little. So I talk with my hands a lot. The reason I talk with my hands is I learned sign language. I'm slow at it when I was very little. So I talk with my hands. And sometimes that makes things happen on the screen, and I just don't know how to do that. But that's not what I did, though. I was like, it happens when I'm not paying attention. So I'm not sure how I did it. Because I went like this. And then all of a sudden I looked like that, and I saw them. And I'm not sure how but I can't do it intentionally. We've tried this before. Like, I even checked for kids in a vehicle when I didn't bring them with me. That was the first, and I still do that, honestly. But the first time that I didn't bring the little one with me when I went to the grocery store. Because being a stay-at-home mom, I took her everywhere from day one. Like, I took her to the dentist with me when she was 5 days old. And she was 5 pounds and 4 ounces, and she was at the dentist office already. But I like freaked out. I like looked in the back, and I'm like, oh my God, where is she? And I was like, okay, she's with her dad. And I still, because this is a fear of mine, I look every time. But that's because I'm scared. That's not how people hold a string. I don't know how, like, yeah. It's like, I don't know. It happens when I'm not paying attention. While he got a haircut and then drank beer at a bar, had been worried about the child spending time with his mother. No, I don't think this is an accident at all, because there's one thing of like having a normal routine and your brain just being in that routine, like going to work, and you're not the one that takes your child to daycare normally. Do I think that was accident? Yes. Do I think that could have been prevented? Yes. However, Yeah, I believe that was an accident. You don't go into a bar and leave your kid in a car in June in Florida. You don't go to a bar with a kid at 18 months at all. Like when baby Squid was 18 months old, I brought her to the get a haircut. There's the thumbs up too. I brought her to get a haircut with me. She sat on my lap. I brought her to get a haircut with me, not this last time I went to get a haircut, but the time before. She sat with her iPad in another chair and talked to all the people and went into the break room for the girls. So and watched TV in there. That is how you manage a child. Not saying I'm perfect by any means, because I am not a perfect parent by any means. However, you bring your kid with you, and if you're going to a bar, you leave your kid at home. You get a babysitter. You do something. Or you just don't go to a bar. How about that? Scott Gardner wrote in a petition filed April 15th that Sebastian Gardner's mother struggled with alcohol addiction and said that it was not safe environment for my son. This poor kid. Gardner requested that the mother, Lorena Dagg, did not share custody with the child, according to his petition. While Dagg did not respond to Gardner's petition, she did respond to a petition by the child's grandmother last year in which she opposed her request for temporary custody. And hey, Tammy, how are you? So the grandmother last year had filed a, because it didn't say in the docket who the petitioner was, just said her name. They have different last names. Wasn't sure. So I started digging a little more. My grandfather used to take my father in the bar with him. Yeah, my parents did too. In Wisconsin, it's legal to take a child into a bar as long as you're the legal guardian. However, my parents also drank like one or two, and it wasn't like an everyday thing. My dad played softball. Softball was sponsored by a bar. Afterwards, everybody would go after a softball game. Everybody and their families would go to the bar and eat and have a drink. This is not on Pacer. This is Florida. This is state. This is Volusia County. Pacer's only federal. A hearing on Gardner's petition was set for June 19th, but by then, Sebastian had been unalived for 13 days. Sebastian Gardner left in truck on a 90-degree day. And I'm not laughing at this. I'm laughing at that. So she climbed up on the old chair backwards and is punching it like a punching bag. Hey, Uncle Buck. My great-grandma was raised in a bar, which is why the courts took her away and sent her to a children's home. I was sent a video the other day, or I found a video that I reposted on my Facebook. That was like, Wisconsin, it's legal to take a child into a bar and actually give them alcohol if you're the legal parent or guardian and they're under 21. My first drink in a bar, I want to say, was at like 14. But I'm convinced that is also why I don't have problems with alcohol, because my parents taught me responsibility. So there's... You okay? Come here, beautiful. Come here. Did you smash your toe? Oh, okay. I will. Come here, beautiful. Can I have a kiss? Okay, hugs. Hugs. Did you smash your toe? Can I see? Can I see your toes, please? Are they good? Yeah. Okay. I don't need... Okay. You let me know if you need anything, okay? Yeah. I love you. Love you. Okay. My first drink was at 7. Like, my dad used to make like wine coolers with actual wine and like 7-Up and stuff. But that's why I never felt the need to experiment with alcohol. I commented on that video because someone commented on it like, parents aren't really bringing their kids to the bar. Like hell they aren't. My parents brought me all the damn time. But I'm sure that it is why I never felt the need to hide alcohol from my parents or experiment, because my parents taught me responsibility. And if you're going to drink it, ask us or take us with you or something. So like, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's because I talk all the time. But thank you. I'm trying to I mean, we don't read a lot of baby books, but she hears me read to you guys all the time. So, you know. Also, we don't do things on YouTube like Miss Rachel and stuff like that, because there's things about that. Like, the reason that children learn to talk is they see your mouth move in addition to hearing the words. So whenever I talk back to her, I make her look at me. Just little things you pick up from college that maybe college was actually a good thing for me. Hey, Malin, how are you, my friend? Sebastian Gardner left in truck on 90-degree day. Lord Tippy. Gardner left the child in a hot truck on June 6th while he went to get a haircut and then to drink alcohol at Hanky Panky's bar. Good Lord. In Ormond by the Sea, according to a charting affidavit, which is also confidential. Hey, living life with FND, how are you? My uncle used to tell my cousin before he ever smokes in the house, let him hit some too. See, and I never felt the need. I smoked cigarettes. That I had hid from my parents. I hid it from my dad because he lived in a different state. But my mom, I'm pretty sure she knew. Whether she ever told me she knew or not, she knew. But at the same time, she started smoking when I was 16, so we would smoke together. Don't tell my dad. The temperature was about 90 degrees. Gardner left the air conditioner off. That right there. He left the windows down, but only a small battery-powered fan on, according to law enforcement. And instead of attending the hearing on June 19th, Gardner was arrested and taken to custody in connection with his son's death. Gardner, 33, of Ormond Beach, was charged with aggravated manslaughter of a child and child neglect using great bodily harm. On June 24th, Circuit Judge A. Christian Miller granted Assistant State Attorney Andrew Urbanick's request to keep Gardner locked up at the Volusia County Branch Jail without bond on pretrial detention. I'd like to give him a haircut. Yeah, speaking of real cuts when you're getting a haircut, Mr. Squid went to get a haircut, and the girl was trimming his eyebrows and poked him in the eye. But he had a small cut right here. I'm like, oh. Scott Gardner filed for paternity. In the petition to determine paternity for related relief, Gardner had written that Sebastian was born December 16th of 2023 in Hollister, Florida, according to court records. Gardner's petition states that Sebastian resided with the father and that Dag hadn't seen the child since March 1st. This poor kid. Like, yeah, so avoidable. Yeah, at least Schultz, I think, yeah, he did leave the air conditioner on. Schultz in Arizona. Barbara, I am following the case of Christopher Schultz out of Arizona, who let his 2-year-old Parker left her in the car because she was taking a nap while he went inside to play video games, and the car shut off after an hour. And yeah. But yeah. The case management conference was scheduled for June 19th at 1 p.m. before Circuit Judge K. Janesk. The case was still marked open on June 24th. The hearing sheet states that Gardner failed to appear. I wonder why. The hearing sheet also states that the mother was not served. A notice about the hearing sent to an address Interlaken was stamped return to sender and no mail receptacle unable to forward. Mother fights grandmother's petition. Jody Therault, who identified herself in court as Gardner's mother, filed a petition for temporary custody by extended family for Sebastian on March 12th of 2024. In the petition, she wrote, "Mom has alcohol issues. Dad has had a minor issue." Therault spelled her first name with a Y on Facebook and in other documents. Deggs responded to the petition May 9th, writing, "I am denying the action of petitioner Jody Therault to care for my child, Sebastian Scott Gardner, full-time because I still obtain my parental rights and I am residing at the residential facility Warm, where my child can stay with me." This poor kid. Like, this poor kid had a life. Like, this poor kid. Hey, Paul. And, oh, hey, hose picker. Yeah, I won't even, well, I don't have pets, but I still wouldn't, yeah, I wouldn't leave a pet in the car either. Pets are like our children. They're our fur babies. Dag went on to write, "I've had a few situations where my alcohol consumption became unmanageable. I was Marchman acted and taking responsibility for my actions and attending residential treatment at WARM. WARM stands for Women Assisting Recovering Mothers, and it's located in Bunnell, Florida, according to its website. The Marchman Act allows for voluntary admissions and involuntary assessment, stabilization, and treatments of adults and youth who are severely impaired due to substance abuse, according to a Department of Children and Families website. A hearing took place in Daytona Beach, May 16th of 2024, in which a judge ruled that the mother take temporary custody of Sebastian at WARM. The judge also said the two sides would work out a time-sharing agreement and visits at WARM. The hearing sheet indicated the mother, father, and grandmother were all present. Another hearing took place August 15th on Therault's petition, but no one showed up and the case was dismissed. Scott Gardner had a prior arrest in Brevard Zoo incident. What? Gardner was arrested June 18th of 2023 on a charge of battery, domestic violence, according to Brevard County court records. Gardner told a Brevard County Sheriff's deputy that he and Dag had been drinking prior to going to the Brevard Zoo, and the two got into an argument outside the zoo. Who goes drinking at the zoo? Like, honestly, who goes drinking at the zoo? Something about that just seems off. Gardner said that Dag pushed him because she was upset and did not want to go inside with the kids. The affidavit stated, Gardner then pushed Dag, causing her to fall and hit her head on the floor. Dag said her head was hurting. Gardner said he had been drinking and was also upset and did not realize the force he used to push her. The affidavit said the couple had been living together in an intimate relationship for 11 months. A witness who said she saw Gardner standing above Dag and screaming at her reported the incident. A witness asked Dag if she wanted her to call the police, and Dag said she did and needed help. So he sounds like a shitbag to begin with. I mean, this just, I just can't. Like, yeah. Lord Chippy is too easy. Anybody else come up with anything else? Slow mode, some fire ants, some ground recluse, and black widow spiders. Like, we can go completely against the Geneva Convention on this one. The witness said that Gardner was verbally aggressive towards her, cursed, and yelled at her. Gardner entered a plea of no contest to an amended charge of battery and was adjudicated guilty on August 24th. As part of the plea agreement, he was placed on probation for 6 months. So, timeline here. August 24th of 2023. She was pregnant. If Sebastian was 18 months, said that the charges said he was born December 16th of 2023. She was 5 or 6 months pregnant? Like, I mean, so you're not only getting in an argument with, like, not only getting in an argument, but you're pushing a pregnant woman. Like, I just don't judge. I've been drunk at the zoo company outing with a open bar. Was it by any chance the Milwaukee County Zoo? Because I honestly can't say I haven't been drinking there. I mean, that's where my high school prom was. But beside the point, but there's a difference between like drinking at the zoo and getting drunk and going to the zoo. Like, it sure was. Knew it. I've been there for company outings too. Yeah. This is gonna be a rough one, isn't it? We're gonna point and laugh at when Volusia County Sheriff is kind of like Polk County Sheriff, where he's a very tell it like it is kind of. Kid cases are always rough, but they are the ones that need to be told, because this is something that's easily preventable. And then you have people like that see a kid in a car, break into the car, and then the owners of the car call the cops on the people who broke the window to get the kid out, like they were the ones who messed up. I'm like, it just. As part of a plea agreement, he was placed on probation for 6 months and ordered not to have any unwanted contact with the victim for 5 months. He was sentenced to time served of 3 days in the Brevard County Jail. Assistant State Attorney Andrew Urbanek told the judge about Gardner's criminal history during the June 24th hearing. He also told the judge that Gardner had some cases from Massachusetts, including credit card fraud and cocaine charge in 2015. He was not convicted of those charges. He seems like a real winner. All right, so we're gonna get to we're gonna get to the we're gonna get to this dude. Actually, hold on. Let me. There we go. And this is directly from the Volusia County Sheriff's Office YouTube channel. So, New Hampshire, no charges for breaking in car window. Yeah, I did see a video, and I think it was either from Georgia or Alabama, some southern state that uses nonviolent inmates as work release. A lot around here, nonviolent inmates, minor drug charges, things like that in county jails are used as free labor for road work, garbage pickup, all that. Well, there was a video I saw on, I want to say either Facebook or Instagram, where it was a dad or a mom who had accidentally locked the keys in the car, like with the kid in the car, like totally accidental, and was freaking out about it. Well, there was they called the cops, and there was a work party of inmates around, and the sheriffs told the inmates to go to work, and they broke into the car and got the kid out without breaking a window. So just like put their skills to good use is what the video said. It was the inmates were like, yeah, I got this. So the sheriff reminds me of you if you were sheriff. I could never do this job, because I would be one of those people that if someone talked back to me, instead of just saying shut the F up, I would punch him in the face. And I just can't. I know that that's against the law, so I just can't. Internal affairs would be investigating me every 5 seconds. I know how that would work. Yeah, you saw that on YouTube? Yeah, it sounds like Georgia. I can't remember. All I remember is the inmates in their orange jumpsuits were opening the car window, and breaking in the car to get the kid out with the parent standing right there like, please do your thing. Like, break into my car. All right, let's get into this. This is Volusia County Sheriff.
Responded first, and clearly what they saw was horrific. And as I take you through the timeline, I want to start out by saying that this father is a human piece of garbage, and he's a lion sack of shit. And he's exactly where he belongs to be, behind bars. He's facing felony aggravated child abuse and felony aggravated manslaughter.
Not in the sense of like being shitty, but like if I arrested him and he like talked back, not the him, but like Scott Gardner, like, you know, this kind of shitty person, and they gave me attitude, I'd be like, shut the fuck up, let's tighten these handcuffs just a little bit tighter, kind of thing. Not police brutality in the sense of like doing anything. I don't exactly know how to answer that. But you know what I mean, right? Flash fan, like not just out for no reason, but like if you want to be an asshole to me or try to hit me, I'm gonna like, you spit on me, I'm gonna like smack you in the face, kind of thing. Like I'm not just gonna sit there and take it, kind of a situation. Because you know how when someone, I don't just sit back and take shit because, you know, that's just not my personality. That's why I do this and not that. There's a reason why I had to play hockey and not basketball. Because hockey, I could hit back. Basketball, I fouled out. Plus, everybody was taller than me. If they initiate, I will. Yep. Oopsie, he fell. My bad. Yeah, like you see how I've reacted when people go after my child? And that's just on the internet. What do you think I'd do in real life?
So my hope for him is every night when he closes his eyes and every morning when he opens his eyes, his son Sebastian sits there and says, Dad, why did you do this to me? Because there is no reason for this little boy to be dead. So we're going to take you through a timeline here of what the investigators put together. So, Andrew? So Hanky Panky's Lounge, where he gets his hair cut. What he does is he pulls in here, leaves the baby in the car, 11:30 a.m., he gets his hair cut. He then parks his car with Sebastian in it when he gets his hair cut. They then park over here. Sebastian's in the back of the car. The car seat faces the rear window of the car.
Look how cute that little boy is. Doesn't that just want to like make you just... Oh, that poor... That might have been the kid that cures cancer. Who knows? That like when things happen, it's not just that these parents suck, but it's like, what could these kids have been? That's the saddest part. Like, yeah, you're a shitbag, you did this, but like, what could your kid have done? Your kid might have been a president. Your kid might have been the guy to cure cancer. Like, what did you take away from not only the rest of your family, but the world?
Where he then enters Hanky Panky's Lounge around noon. So you figure the baby's been in the car, the ride over. Now, half hour later, after the haircut, baby's still in the car. He decides he's going to go into Hanky Panky's to have a cocktail. He's there from noon to 2:40. So for 2 hours and 40 minutes, that little guy is inside that car. He says the windows were down, but he's a lion sack of shit and a lot of other stuff with a little mini fan.
Flash fan, you bring up a good point. It's cases like this that make me almost believe in the death penalty, and I feel bad that I think that now. And this is where we kind of have some disagreements. I believe in the death penalty only for certain individuals, in the sense of certain people I believe in this world can never be rehabilitated. Like Jeffrey Dahmer would have been a perfect death penalty candidate. somebody who cannot be, and self-described cannot be rehabilitated. He even said it. Like this, there's certain, like, this would have been an iffy one, but like I just it's like it's just one of those things of it's a hard situation, but like school shooters, I believe in the death penalty for those people because you did something, you went out of your way to take people's lives. So that kind of stuff. But this one I'm torn. But I believe that he should be left in a hot car for a while. Maybe not unalived, but definitely left in a hot car for a while.
And with AA batteries in it going on the baby. So he drinks his beers. He has a couple shots of Fireball, and then he comes out of the bar at 2:40 or whatever, and then you hear this frantic 911 call that Orman responds to. So if you go around, what we got here with witnesses, 11:30 at the haircuttery place, 11:41. He pays for their haircut. Customer ahead of him pays for his haircut. At noon, he heads over, finishes the barber, goes over across the street, and then he heads there. Bartender serves him. Thank God we got great witnesses. Bartender says, never saw Sebastian in the bar, although there have been times where he's brought Sebastian in the bar. Buys his first round of drinks, 1 o'clock. A customer's car backs into the bartender's car. He's a real nice guy, right? Goes outside to check on the bartender's car, but doesn't go over to his car to check on his son. Goes back in the bar, has another shot in the beer. 2 o'clock, bartender leaves, and Gardner is still at the bar, so we're assuming around 2:40 he leaves, drives a short distance home, and this is his 911 call.
My son's not breathing. He's a year and a half.
I'm outside with you?
Oh my God, he just had his eyes open. Oh my God.
Okay,
Sebastian.
Okay, how old is he?
A year and a half.
Okay, is he breathing?
No.
You don't see any chest rising or falling?
Mom.
Hello?
He's not breathing.
Listen to me. Hello?
I'm in the highway. Oh my God.
Hello?
I'm on the phone with him. Hello?
Okay, listen to me. Can you get him on a hard, flat surface?
A hard, flat surface.
Okay, are you guys inside now? Because I've got units on the way there to you at 37 Standish Drive.
So the investigation reveals he's in that car for over 3 hours. When the Ormond Beach police officer arrives at 2:49, he can't do CPR because the baby's in rigor mortis. The hospital says the baby's temperature was over 107 degrees when it arrives at when the baby arrives at the hospital. But the way your body cools, the nurses estimate that the highest temperature of that car was 111 degrees with that little guy in the back of that car seat. And then if you watch the body camera footage, which you can't show you inside the hospital, not only did he treat the Ormond Beach Police Department like pieces of shit, he treated the doctors and the nurses, the staff in Advent, like pieces of shit. So this guy is nothing but a piece of shit. Like I said earlier, I pray that his son is constantly in his vision asking him, Dad, why did you do this to me? There's no logical reason why this little guy is dead. But it gets better. Father of the year, baby's dead, investigation is going on. What does he do? He picks up his mother and they go back to hanky-pankies for a few more cocktails, and they're there until almost midnight. Now, I don't know what anybody here thinks or anybody that have sympathy for somebody like that, but my God, all of us that are fathers and grandfathers and mothers, and how in the world can you be so messed up that you would allow your child to sit back there in Florida in 90-degree weather, walk outside and check on some car and never go near your son? Never. I don't think there's a penalty on this earth that could ever fit for the crime that was committed here. It absolutely shocks the conscience for this, that this even happened. There's no reason whatsoever. So the investigators are here. Chief Gardner is here. Anybody has any questions, they're the ones that are going to answer them.
All right. Before we look at the body cam footage, you want to hear the baby laugh? Here. No, you don't want to do it now? You don't want to do it now? Oh, you were laughing so much. I love you. You want to say hi? Hi. Okay, you want to get down? You want to go play? Okay, you go play. We're going to watch some body cam footage. Oh, you want to watch it? Yeah. Okay, we're going to watch some body cam footage. I mean, that phone call did not sound at all remorseful. That sounded like, how do I make this sound plausible? Like I didn't just F up. He didn't even sound like, oh crap, I made a huge mistake and screwed up royally. Which, taking accountability might still get you jail time. However, it won't be as bad of an issue as if you try to say you're you're so silly. You're so silly. You want up or down? Okay. Bye. Bye. I love you. Okay. I mean, yeah, he sounded like it wasn't his problem, and that's my biggest issue with stuff like this. Is in the world and at large. It's just if he was under the influence of alcohol, he might not have realized how bad it was. Well, here's the thing: if he only had a couple of shots, he was only drinking for 2 hours and 40 minutes. Like, and if you're an alcoholic, that's not. You're gonna have a pretty high tolerance. And a couple of shots, and it didn't sound like his. They never said what his blood alcohol level was, so I don't think he was drunk. She will be 3 soon, so yeah. At least Schultz was hysterical. He was hysterical. Do I think some of that was faked? A little. But at least he tried.
Where's the baby? Where's the kid?
He's on the floor, man. He's been eating yogurt. He's been fine. I just threw him out. Please, please, please. Oh my God. You're my son.
And not before you want to. You guys eat back rolling over here? Emergency.
So I guess Dad had to figure out some kind of story. And Orman will tell you what they discovered with the car, with the position of the car seat. Even if the air conditioner was blowing, it was great in the front seat and the passenger seat. But the back of the car, there was absolutely a difference in the temperature of the vehicle as well. A little dollar store fan on your kid. So any questions? These come on up, gentlemen. Come on up. And any questions? These are the investigators that worked it. You know, I liked yesterday that we with Orman made sure that the Ormond Beach police officer who was the first one to arrive at the scene was the one to put handcuffs on that piece of shit.
Anything out there you should have right now?
Wallet.
Excuse me, puppy. So Scott, watch your step. Be careful.
He just looks like a winner.
Down the road. Because you're not going to come back here again.
From what
Oh my God.
The vehicle,
Wait.
the windows were down. The car was not on. No AC.
Y'all caught that, right? He's like, you're not going to come back here again. Like, look how cute that little boy is. Look how adorable he is. Yeah, I think he was more afraid of getting caught for what he had done. Yeah. and that seems to be the general consensus that people are having in comment sections and things like this. I don't really know of anybody who's talking about this besides Flash Fan. Yeah, and Flash Fan, that was my my thought too, that right there is going to be this one of those things of words matter. And sometimes, just like in another case, when I said sometimes in a deposition you should say yes, no, and I don't know should be your only answers, and sometimes you should leave the snark at home, even when the attorney has royally pissed you off in so many different ways. When you're a cop, you should keep your mouth shut, and you should keep your mouth shut. Oh, hey, Slug. I survived the spam trip. Part 1 is up, and I'm also now going to be addicted to tabletop gaming. So Slug has recently went to the the spam museum. I have to watch the whole video, but we might go over that on like a Saturday night wine and spam Saturday, because I hate spam. So yeah. And hey, Calvin, how are you? But Malin, what? Spam is a canned meat, very highly processed. It looks like ham, but it's something. It's like the hot dog of a canned meat world. Ugh. 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 Yeah, especially processed assorted meat. Yeah. Ugh. 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 Where was the mom? He filed a she hasn't seen the baby since March 1st. She was, as in April, there was a petition filed for paternity. Last year, we read an article prior to this. Last year, the grandmother, his mom, filed a suit for custody against both parents, saying that he wasn't safe to be with either parent. So yeah, this is the press conference from the Volusia County Sheriff. All the documents right now are confidential, and I believe they're confidential for 2 reasons. One, this is a case that involves a child, and secondly, there was the family law case family court case last year for paternity from the grandmother, and there is an active and open paternity case from April of this year in family court in Florida. So there's the Flash Fan. I don't think it's that one. I will call you out on race, because I just think that's a poor person's friend. I don't think it's a me. Whereas I will just starve. Yeah. Oh yeah. Usually all the family law stuff is generally confidential. But this case is also confidential. Even the arraignment and the affidavit is confidential. So yeah. Yeah, there's worse stuff out there than spam. Well, you know, spam makes soldiers fight harder so they get home faster. Yeah. Ugh. All right, so we'll get back to this.
And the child's in the back of the truck, rear-facing seat with a fan that went towards him, but it wouldn't have been like right on his face.
Did he own up to this ever, or did he say he just forgot it was Gardner?
No, he did eventually. He owned up to it in an interview. There was information that the Ormond Beach Police Department was able to obtain, some facts and statements, and when confronted with this, he did ultimately confess to his actions. So the mom and dad are not together. Mom lives in another county, and he actually has the custody, but not officially, but he's taking care of the child.
And his mom, I know the sheriff mentioned that they went to drink at a bar. Did she, I guess, know about what happened? Do you expect like additional charges at all?
No, my personal opinion, I don't feel like she knows what happened. She actually sat in on an interview with him when I interviewed him, and it looked like it was a shock to her and some of the statements that she made.
So with the death occurring likely at Hanky Panky's based off of the information that was provided to us initially by medical personnel at the hospital, the child would have died between probably 1 to 2 hours before 911 was ever called and before he drove to his mother's house.
So he literally drove from the bar home?
Drove to his mother's house.
To his mother's house.
Can you explain that?
So to my best understanding, I don't know if he told you all anything different, he drove from Hanky Panky's. The residence of the defendant's mother is relatively close, like 1 to 2 miles from the bar. And so he drove from the bar, called 911 at some point, en route to the mother's house.
And that lines up with the surveillance that we already have showing about when he would have been leaving, 911 call and all that, because it's 1 mile, and he called at what, 2:45?
Yeah, 2:40.
The suspect, he lived with his mom? Or?
He lives alone with, or he lived alone with Sebastian at a different location.
Look at the pain in this guy's eyes. He does not look like he's happy to be talking about this.
Well, these guys were doing their investigation. Him and his mother, who, and as Sean said, really wasn't aware of all the facts. They go back to Hanky Panky's, and I think they're there for 4 or 5 hours drinking cocktails. I do want to say, though, these guys did a phenomenal job.
His mother, too?
People were giving us information. There was no, we're not going to give you information. They were giving us everything they could possibly give, which made the investigation, I think, run so much faster to get to where we are now.
For those people that were given the information, once they found out it was a kid, did that make it easier because they were, concerned about the child?
I'll let them answer it, but I think Sebastian had been in that bar, Hanky Panky's. They let him in there with the child, so they all knew the little guy.
Did any witnesses ever share
What?
what was
Okay, so if you want to be that person and bring your toddler into a bar, which whatever, I'm from Wisconsin, I don't judge. But he had brought him in there before. Why not bring him in there now? Like, there's my thing. Like, if you wanted to be a shitbag and go get drunk, because there's a difference between having a drink and going to get drunk. But he had been in that bar before with the toddler. Why didn't he just bring Sebastian in there with him this time? There's the things that aren't adding up. Like, that make it seem like it wasn't an accident. Because obviously he had been in there before, which he had no shame in bringing his toddler to a bar. Like I said, from Wisconsin, my parents brought me, I'm not sure I was a toddler, but I remember playing pool in a bar at like age 8. So, not drinking, but playing pool in a bar. It served food, but it was still a bar. It was a bar first, food second. Right. I think there's a chance he forgot when he was there between the barber and the bar and only realized on the way home. Part of me wants to say yes and give him the benefit of the doubt, but I still have a problem with him leaving him in the car when he was at the barber. Why not bring him in? Why not bring him in? Sit him in a different chair. Let him see. Let him talk to people. Like, sit him on your lap. Yeah. Is it really a bar with that name? You can take kids into pubs in UK. You just can't serve them the strong stuff. In Wisconsin, you can take your kids into a bar and you can serve them the strong stuff as long as you are their legal parent or guardian. So, Hey, Mom, when was the first time that you gave me alcohol in a bar? Was I like 13, 14? I remember I decided to try to mix Malibu rum and pineapple rum together, call it a Malibu and pineapple, and that was a really, really bad idea. I will never, ever in my life try to do that again. But like, my father used to tell, grandpa stories. Oh, good Lord. Here we go. Can I tell a grandpa story, Mom? My father used to tell my mother that he was going to the grocery shopping and would take me on the way home. He would stop at the bar. Yeah, my grandpa lived at a bar. Every day. In fact, after his funeral, we went to the same bar he used to go drinking at. After his funeral. So what? Not giving my mom's age away, but I'm almost 40, so y'all can do the math. We used to be able to leave school during lunch hour, and the drinking age was 18. So my mom and her friends, being 18 years old and seniors in high school, decided to go across the street to the liquor store. Because yes, there was a liquor store across the street from the high school. Make it make sense. Well, she's standing in line at the liquor store, and guess who is behind her? My grandfather. Angel. Where is it, baby? Is it in the living room? Yeah. Go get it. Okay. So yeah. Pistol Pete's. Yeah, you can do the famous words that I will never forget was, if you don't tell your mother, I won't tell your mother. Yep, running into your dad got caught. But if you won't tell your mom, I won't tell your mom. Your mom is around my age. Probably. All right, let's finish this up.
The mother and the father's, I guess, vibe once they went back to Hanky Panky after the child had.
Go ahead. You interviewed with them.
They said that they didn't seem as distraught as you would expect someone to be for their child having just passed, which is consistent with the interactions that we had with him when we were at the hospital.
Good afternoon, Chief Godfrey, Jesse Godfrey, Ormond Beach Police Department. Thank you for being here. On behalf of the police department and our partners, the Sheriff's Office and the State Attorney's Office, we want to extend our condolences to the family and all those affected. Standing right here behind me, this is probably one of the worst calls that law enforcement has to go on. And we have to deal with it, and we are providing services to our officers as far as mental health and wellness, because this is a tough one. I'll tell you that. This will never leave us. The sheriff did a great job outlining the arrest and the circumstances leading up to it. I will just say that when a child's life is lost like this, there has to be accountability, and that's what's happening right now. And I'm very I'm pleased with the way the investigation started out. It started out as a CPR call, an infant CPR call, and then evolved into this, what you're here to see today. The collaboration between the Sheriff's Office and the State Attorney's Office, I'm proud of what our men and women did from Ormond Beach. I'm proud of what you detectives did from the Sheriff's Office and the State Attorney's Office. They're not here right now, but they did a great job as far as prosecution and helping us out along the way, and I can't highlight the collaboration enough. I will take this time to educate and warn the public. It takes about, in a car in Florida, with our Florida heat, it takes minutes for the back seat with all the windows closed for it to become deadly. And a child's body heat heats up 3 to 5 times faster than an adult's. And I'm not a physician, but I just know there's something with toddlers and babies that they heat up and they can't control their heat. They don't have the thermostat that we do. And I just can't stop thinking about young Sebastian in that car seat. The sheriff highlighted it, but I just can't. I can't leave that thought. Can't leave my brain. I know.
Is the sheriff below the police? No, they're technically equals. They just have different jurisdictions. Like here, the actual town is the police department, but outside the city limits is the sheriff. So out in the boonies is the sheriff. So all the little towns have their own police departments, but then you get outside of the city limits of the town, and then it's the sheriff's jurisdiction. So, and the sheriff, the chief of police, is an appointed official by generally the mayor. The sheriff is an elected official. So every town sheriff is elected by the people. So there's just slight differences. Sheriff is county, police is city. So, but other than that, they're equal. They just have different jurisdictions and sometimes different responsibilities based on the size of the county, the location, things like that.
Our detectives are impacted by it, and it's just a horrible thing, and I'm just glad he's being held accountable. I will tell you that Officer Mark Pettaviano, our officer on scene that was trying to do CPR, the sheriff was gracious enough to let him put the handcuffs on the suspect. I texted him this morning, and I wanted to make sure he was doing okay. I stopped by the scene the day of the incident, and I wanted to check on him today, and he said it really helped. So thank you for that, Sheriff, and your staff, that whoever coordinated that. And again, child safety, that's our job. We're supposed to keep our children safe. And I just ask parents and guardians. I'm a grandfather, I'm a father. I know there's parents in the room right here on the other side of those cameras. It's probably your worst nightmare. And I would just say, do everything you can do to educate the public. There's apps, there's classes you can take if you don't have the money. There's so much technology out there now. This tragedy should never happen. And again, I appreciate your time for being here. Thank you, Sheriff, for having us. Thank you, the detectives in the back of the room, for helping us out. And if anybody has any questions, I'll be available. Thank you so much.
I think Chief Godfrey said it all. I mean, he said it all. And, you know, we've seen it. People forget their kids in the back seat. But this was completely different. This was intentional. That's what the charges are for. You know, anybody with a lick of common sense would say, why would I leave my child in the car while I get my hair cut and then go drinking with a little mini fan blowing on him and think that somehow is going to be a good thing?
The mini fan makes it seem intentional to me. Like, he didn't forget shit. He was like, oh, you'll be fine with a fan. Yeah, in 90-degree heat. Yeah, no, that right there is an intentional act. Yeah, like, oh, it makes me want to, like, because it's my greatest fear as a parent, living in a hot climate. I just can't.
Thing that's going to end up perfectly. But you know what they didn't get into is the original story, because there's always the lies, right? The lie of, oh, we had this great day, we were at the playground, we were doing this, we were doing that, and you blew CPR and his eyes open. He was dead. He was dead, and it took him a while to come off that story. Even then, he knew, and he wouldn't even come off the story and say, I messed up. This is what I did. I killed my son. So the very, very end. And then even then, I don't believe he was exactly truthful of everything that happened. But it makes you wonder how many times he actually did do this, because it wasn't the first time, in my opinion. He's done it other times. This is the first time that Sebastian died from his actions.
So you guys told you a different story initially?
What he tells them initially is this all was good with the world, and this is like a Sid's death if you read the interviews. But when you get the medical report and you realize the little guy was dead. When he was in the bar drinking Fireball and beer, his son was dead. When he was out there checking on the car accident and not going over to check on his kid, the kid was dead.
And while he's getting his haircut, the kid was not in the barbershop.
Kid was in the back seat of the car. Sebastian was in the back seat of the car. So these guys are around if you want to ask them any specifics. So thank you all very much for coming out.
That right there. This makes me more concerned about HG. Seeing LP has already been caught leaving the kid in the car alone to pick up her prescription. Remember, I don't know about that. But remember, one of the cases in front of Judge Grudge, she said, my kid is out in the car. My kid is out in the car. Like, yeah, in Florida in the summer. I just, yeah, Fireball, what he could have at least drank. Well, when you're I believe you are an alcoholic, and that is not me being defamatory. That seems to be an accurate statement. Do you think this case is going to air live when it is time for court? Probably, because it's Florida. Because it's Florida, and because of this sheriff, I believe there will be if that treadmill kid case, where that father made his kid drive or walk on a treadmill until he collapsed and passed away. If that case was streamed, and that case wasn't even Florida, I don't think, this case should be streamed. And if this case is streamed, I will be keeping an eye on this. If this case is streamed, I will be streaming. I will be following this case, and we will be doing this case. Yeah, I don't think this is going to go to court until next year. There will be a chance that baby Squid will be in 3K, possibly. So yeah. Oh yeah. I can't imagine being a cop responding to this. Yeah. Hey, Jude, thanks for being a member for 9 months. Intentional. Yeah, 100% intentional. 100% intentional. The fan says it all. Like, yeah. Florida just likes to not air pretrial like a lot of other states. Yeah, and maybe they will make the documents public after a while, because you can see all the documents. It just says confidential. It doesn't hide any of them, what they are. It just to give you an idea of how hot it is in a car in Florida at 10 a.m. Friday morning. It was 160 when I opened the door. Yeah, I put a window covering, or we always put a screen up in our car just to keep it a little cooler, because right now, hey Siri, what's the temperature outside? It's 82 degrees outside right now, and it's 10 o'clock. So it's definitely not an easy thing. But that is kind of all I have for you guys this morning. I just wanted to go in and kind of do that. However, Milwaukee police, so over the weekend, there was a Milwaukee police officer who was a Milwaukee police officer who passed away after being shot and ambushed. Hey Siri, what is 82 degrees in Celsius? 27.78 degrees Celsius. So, so we are going to share this tab instead. We're just going to read this real quick. Milwaukee police officer Kendall Corder dies following shooting. We're all in pain. Kendall Corder loved being a Milwaukee police officer. That's what the family of the slain 32-year-old officer wanted the public to know of their son, who died nearly 3 days after he and his partner were shot. The two, both 6-year veterans of the department, were unexpectedly fired upon in an alleyway on the city's northwest side on June 26th while responding to a call for a person with a weapon. He died doing what he loved to do, said Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson at a press conference. It's admirable. Johnson spoke near Froedtert Hospital on June 29th. Froedtert is the level 1 trauma center in Milwaukee, alongside Milwaukee Police Chief Jeffrey Norman and Alex Ayala, president of the department's union and rank and file officers. Corder's family asked Norman to share the sentiment that he loved his work and was proud of being a member of the department, the police chief said, and then thanked the public for prayers. We have lost someone who loved his career, who looked forward to being a part of the work to impact public safety in our community. The three did not take questions. A procession taking Corder's body to the Milwaukee County Medical Examiner's office downtown began around 6:11 p.m. As the procession began, officers could be seen with tears in their eyes as a stream of police vehicles left Froedtert Hospital. In downtown Milwaukee, 2 fire trucks hung an American flag extended from their extended ladders at the corner of State Street and 9th as officers and paramedics lined the streets. Residents lingered near the medical examiner's office to pay their respects. Milwaukee police arrested 22-year-old Tremaine Jones on June 27th in the shooting that injured Corder and Officer Christopher McCrae, who left the hospital on June 28th. The Milwaukee Police Department did not identify Jones in a June 27th statement announcing a suspect's arrest, but 2 sources confirmed the name to the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, and he was listed in a police booking log. Jones is listed in jail on a $200,000 bail, according to the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office jail roster. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel typically does not name suspects who have not been charged with a crime unless they're a public figure. The news organization is naming the suspect in this case because of the high-profile nature of this incident. On the plus side, your vocal fry is completely gone. I know you hate it. Yeah, being a cop today is a rough job. Oh, and I figured, I heard you say it in another chat, so I didn't. Any update on whenever you're gonna get power back, and who do I have to yell at? Corder's death comes after a June 26th shooting near an alley on the 2200 block of North 24th. Ooh, that's not a good area. A Milwaukee PD spokesperson said officers arrested a suspect without issue around 2:15 the next morning. So if you're the praying type, pray for this man's family because he is, Kendall Corder passed away at 32 years old. So, and that was Kendall Corder. So, 25th and Garfield, not a great area if you know the Milwaukee area. That one I do not know. Bail. There should be no bail. There should be no bail. But that's just my personal opinion. Wonder, will this case be streamed? God, I hope so. Yeah, that is the hood. Yeah, and there's like the hood, and then there's whatever 24th, and like I did a project for school on 15th and Valete. That's I was not worried about myself. I was worried about my car. So, find the man. He was always gloating. He had the power. All right, guys. Speaking of Wisconsin, I need to check on Cassup stuff. I have not seen anything, and his anything I can find in his federal case is sealed. Probably for good reason. 281 days without power. Holy crap, in Florida. I just can't imagine. Like, I was pissed when we had 6 days without power, or 5 days, whatever that was. Yep, the Wisconsin, the Cassup stuff, I have not seen anything new that I could find. His federal stuff with the Trump, the stuff, and the Order of the Nine Angels is sealed. As far as I could tell, like a week ago. I haven't checked to see if anything is updated and released. Because sometimes random stuff gets released. So I All right. On that note, guys, I am going to get out of here. I have some stuff to do. But we are going to see who can we redirect you to. I'm trying to get better at redirecting and also spreading the love. So we will see. He's due back in court in August. Yeah. Customization. Redirect. Ooh, Flux is live. Let's go to Flux. She's doing some gaming. All right, guys. This afternoon, if there's new documents in the Hales case, if not, tomorrow at about noon, or 1 o'clock. So we will be doing something. I have a few things that we need to go over. I also need to go over some other cases that I'm talking about. I also need to record some videos. So we have some other stuff to go over. But all right, guys, tell Flux that I said hi, and y'all have a great day. And I love you, and I will see you on the next one. Bye, guys.